Why do you keep fighting yourself? Why does discipline feel like force? Why does motivation fade so quickly? Why do you react in ways you don't recognize and later regret? Most people blame habits. They blame mindset. They blame laziness. But what if none of that is true? What if the part of you causing resistance, self-sabotage, and emotional exhaustion is not broken, but unheard? Carl Jung believed most people are not living as a self, but as a fragment. And the fragment they don't know is the one controlling them. By the end of this video, you'll understand what your shadow really is, why avoiding it gives it power, and how integration, not motivation, is what finally creates inner freedom. What the shadow really is. The shadow is not your darkness. It's not evil thoughts. It's not immoral impulses. The shadow is unlived psychological life. Parts of you that were never allowed to exist openly. As a child, you adapted to survive. You learned what emotions were acceptable, what traits brought approval, what behaviors created safety. Anything that threatened connection was pushed away, not destroyed, disowned. Confidence, anger, sensitivity, need, creativity, vulnerability. These parts didn't disappear. They went underground. And what is unconscious does not remain inactive. It expresses itself indirectly. How the shadow controls you. The shadow controls you because it was never allowed to belong. It shows up as emotional triggers, procrastination, forcing productivity, sudden anger or numbness, repeating the same patterns. You don't choose these reactions. They happen before thought, and only afterward does the mind explain them. That order matters because it tells you who is actually in control. The shadow acts first. The ego justifies later. This is why insight alone doesn't change behavior, because the conflict isn't intellectual, it's experiential. Shadow and trauma. Why resistance is a memory. Trauma is not defined by what happened. It's defined by what the nervous system could not process safely at the time. Unexpressed fear, suppressed anger, unmet needs, unprocessed grief. These experiences don't live as memories. They live as reactions. So when you force yourself to work and your body resists, that resistance is often protecting you from a familiar internal threat. Pressure, evaluation, expectation, loss of control. This is why pushing harder makes it worse. You're not overcoming resistance. You're re-triggering it. Why motivation and positive thinking fail. Most self-help tells you to override resistance. Be positive, be disciplined, push through. But positivity used to silence pain does not heal it. It strengthens the shadow. Every time you say, "I shouldn't feel this way," you teach your psyche that parts of you are unacceptable, and what is rejected returns with force. Motivation works only when resistance is situational. It fails when resistance is protective. What shadow work actually is. Shadow work is not a technique. It's contact. It begins with noticing reactions without trying to fix them. Instead of asking, "How do I stop this?" you ask, "What part of me is speaking?" You slow the story. You withdraw projection. You reclaim ownership. Not to act it out, but to acknowledge it consciously. Integration does not mean indulgence. It means containment. When a part of you feels seen, it no longer needs to control you. What changes with integration? When the shadow is integrated, you stop fighting yourself. Discipline becomes natural. Energy stops leaking. Reactions slow down. Relationships feel less charged. Not because life becomes easy, but because you are no longer divided. You act from alignment, not fear. Final truth. Shadow work doesn't make you better. It makes you whole. You don't heal to escape pain. You heal so pain no longer speaks through sabotage. The shadow was never your enemy. It was the part of you waiting to be allowed back. And the moment you stop abandoning yourself, nothing inside you has to fight you anymore.